Guys, this is the second way we make money in the binary. So there's two positions. 1x for $2.99, it's worth 100 points. 2x, which is $5.98, and that is worth 220 points. The computer is looking for 200 points on one side and 300 points on the other side. It does not matter which side it comes in. Now, being a binary, that means two. Each person that gets introduced to the business has to put one on their left side, and they have to put one on their right side. So let's say I sponsor Bill over here, and then I sponsor Ted over here. We each got only a one pack. So Bill's position in the point system is worth 100 points because he got a 1x. Ted's position is worth 100 points because he got a 1x. Okay? Points. Okay, now I'm going to teach Bill and Ted to do the same thing. So Bill introduces this to John. John comes in as a 1x, that's 100 points. Then he puts Mary in. That's another 100 points. Okay, so Bill has 100 points on his left and 100 points on his right. But I have 300 points on my left side. So the computer is looking for 200 points. Well, let's say that I'm really motivated, so I put in a person before Ted gets a chance to. So I'm going to put it on the outside right. So I put Romeo on the outside right. Romeo gets 1x. It's worth 100 points. So now that the computer sees that I have at least 200 points on one side and 300 points on the other side, it's going to take those points away for me, and it's going to give me a check for $20. Okay, now Ted decides, hey, I'm going to put somebody in. So Ted puts a single position in. That's worth 100 points, right? Then Ted wants to put another spot in, but because Romeo is over here on the right, his person's actually going to fall below Romeo. So he puts in Henry. Henry's worth 100 points. Okay? So the computer sees I have 200 points on one side again. Tom has 100 points, but he also has the 100 points from Romeo and the 100 points for Henry because Tom has a left side and a right side. But to keep it so it's just focused on what I'm doing right now, we're just going to focus on my center here. So I go out and I help, or Bill helps, John put one on each side for 100 points each. And then Mary brings somebody in, and she puts them in for 100 points. So now the computer sees I have at least 200 points on one side and 300 points on the other. It gives me a check again for another $20. So it doesn't matter if I'm putting people on the outsides or if my people are duplicating by putting one on the left and one on the right, each of their sides. The computer's just looking for points. So as you teach people to do this, okay, I bring in two, let's say it takes me a day to do that, and I teach my two people to do the same thing in the next day. So that's 4 brand new people that came in the following day, right? Then we teach those 4 people to bring in their 2. So the next day, that's 8 people that just joined the business. So this starts to duplicate faster and faster and faster, and the computer's looking for 200 on one side, 300 on the other side. Now, if everybody came in at 598, the points accumulate twice as fast. So you're going to make these $20 checks even faster. When you have enough points coming in on a weekly basis to where you're doing 100 business cycles, this is what they call a cycle. When there's 200 on one side, 300 on the other. When you have 100 coming in a week, that means this business center is now making $2,000 per week. Then the company gives you a brand new business center that you can make up to $2,000 a week on as well. It's going to go either on your left side or on your right side. So even though all this volume is flowing up to this first center, you now can get a brand new business center that you start all over again with, and you're going to put one on the left and one on the right. And as these points are accumulating, 200 on one side, 300 on the other, this business center is going to be making $20 checks. Okay? But because all this volume is on the right side of this business center, it's helping this one to keep maintaining that $2,000 per week.